A spritz of perfume seems innocent, floral, elegant, sophisticated, but for seniors, hidden dangers lurk in every bottle. From toxic chemicals triggering asthma attacks to hormone disruptors interfering with medications, some perfumes silently sabotage your health. Today, we're exposing 7 perfume brands you should avoid at all costs, and the 2 that are actually worth your trust and your well-being. Coming in at number 7, we've got Chanel number 5, The Illusion of French Elegance. The name screams luxury and timeless elegance. Women have worn this fragrance for generations, believing they're indulging in pure sophistication. Walk into any department store and the sales associate will guide you toward that iconic square bottle with reverence, as if you're about to purchase a piece of history. But behind that gleaming glass facade lies a chemical cocktail your body was never meant to process. Lab analysis reveals phthalates, endocrine disruptors linked to hormone imbalance, hiding in the formulation. For seniors on thyroid medication or hormone replacement therapy, these chemicals can interfere with treatment effectiveness. Imagine taking your medication faithfully every morning, believing you're managing your condition responsibly, only to have a perfume silently undermining everything. The brand promises French refinement, yet delivers compounds that Europe itself has restricted in cosmetics. That's the bitter irony. The same continent that birthed this luxury icon now warns against the very chemicals it contains. Independent testing by the Environmental Working Group found multiple synthetic musks that accumulate in body tissue over time. These aren't substances that wash away or metabolize quickly. They settle into your fat cells, building concentration with every application, creating a toxic reservoir that grows year after year. Seniors with respiratory conditions report worsening symptoms after repeated exposure. One woman described how her evening ritual of applying Chanel before dinner parties gradually transformed into a source of chest tightness and labored breathing. She blamed her age, her declining lung capacity, never suspecting the perfume. That elegant cloud of fragrance you spray each morning could be coating your lungs with chemicals that trigger inflammation. The mist looks delicate, almost ethereal as it settles on your skin and drifts through the air. But those microscopic droplets carry compounds designed to resist breakdown, to cling to fabric and skin for hours. The golden liquid inside the square bottle hides what your nose cannot detect, invisible molecules that disrupt your endocrine system with every application. For women over 50 managing blood pressure or cholesterol medications, adding hormone disruptors into the mix creates unpredictable health complications. Your doctor carefully calibrates your dosage, monitors your levels, adjusts your treatment plan. Yet a simple spritz of perfume introduces variables your physician never accounted for. Chanel built its reputation on purity and elegance, but the reality inside that bottle tells a different story. The promise was sophistication. The delivery is chemical interference with your body's delicate hormonal balance. Isn't it strange how luxury brands advertise timeless beauty while using chemicals banned in other countries? At number 6, we have Calvin Klein Obsession, When Boldness Becomes Burden. The advertising promises seductive allure and confidence. Dark, moody campaigns feature mature women owning their power, their presence, their sexuality. The brand positions this as a signature scent for bold women who refuse to fade into the background. Purchase this bottle and you're buying into an identity, a statement that age hasn't diminished your magnetism. But what they conveniently omit from those glossy advertisements are the synthetic aldehydes and fixatives that can trigger severe allergic reactions in sensitive skin. Seniors with compromised immune systems face particular vulnerability here. Your body's defense mechanisms aren't what they were at 30. The immune response that once handled minor irritants now overreacts or fails to respond appropriately. Dermatology reports show increased cases of contact dermatitis among older users, red, inflamed patches appearing on the neck, wrists, and chest where the perfume settles. These aren't mild irritations that disappear overnight. We're talking about angry, raised welts that itch relentlessly, skin that weeps and crusts, inflammation that persists for weeks even after you've stopped using the product. The scent lingers for hours, which sounds appealing, until you realize those molecules are continuously releasing volatile, organic compounds into the air you breathe. Every breath draws more chemicals into your respiratory system. You're essentially creating your own personal toxic cloud that follows you through your day. For seniors with asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, this constant exposure can provoke coughing fits, chest tightness, and shortness of breath. One retired teacher shared how wearing Obsession to her book club meetings left her gasping, unable to finish sentences without pausing to catch her breath. Clinical studies indicate that about 34% of Americans report adverse health effects from fragranced products, with seniors experiencing experiencing heightened sensitivity due to age-related changes in lung function and immune response. The promise was sophistication and allure. The reality is respiratory distress and skin inflammation, your body mounting a desperate defense against substances it recognizes as threats. That heavy amber-colored liquid inside the sleek bottle contains dozens of undisclosed chemicals. The FDA doesn't require fragrance companies to list individual ingredients, allowing them to hide potential allergens under the vague term fragrance. That single word on the ingredient list could represent 50 different compounds, any one of which might trigger your specific sensitivity. Seniors trusting this brand for decades may not realize they're applying a chemical mixture that interacts dangerously with prescription medications, particularly blood thinners and heart drugs. Your warfarin dose is carefully monitored. Your cardiologist tracks your levels religiously. But nobody warned you that your perfume might be affecting how your body processes these critical medications. Now at number 5, Estee Lauder Beautiful, Beauty That Betrays. The name itself is a promise. Beautiful, graceful, age-defying. Marketing campaigns feature silver-haired women with radiant skin, laughing with grandchildren, living their best lives. The message is clear. This perfume celebrates who you are now, enhances your mature beauty rather than trying to mask it. They position this as the thinking woman's fragrance, elegant without being overwhelming, appropriate for any occasion from brunch to evening events. But laboratory testing reveals a troubling truth that contradicts every promise on the frosted glass bottle. This perfume contains high concentrations of synthetic linalool and limonene, both of which oxidize when exposed to air, transforming into potent allergens. The chemistry is straightforward but devastating. Fresh from the bottle, these compounds smell floral and citrusy, exactly as intended. But the moment they contact oxygen, whether in the bottle after opening or on your skin, they begin changing. The oxidation process creates new molecules your immune system recognizes as foreign invaders. For seniors with thinning, fragile skin, these oxidized compounds penetrate more easily, causing chronic irritation and sensitization. Your skin barrier has weakened over the decades. What once provided robust protection now lets chemicals through with alarming ease. Dermatologists report that repeated exposure can lead to photoallergic reactions, painful rashes that appear when perfumed skin is exposed to sunlight. Picture yourself sitting by a sunny window reading or tending your garden on a beautiful afternoon. The sun feels warm and pleasant until suddenly your neck begins burning, itching, developing raised red patches that sting and weep. You assume it's a reaction to a new soap or laundry detergent, never suspecting that the perfume you've worn for years has finally sensitized your skin to the point where sunlight triggers an inflammatory response. Seniors enjoying outdoor activities or simply sitting by a sunny window may develop red, blistering patches without understanding why. The confusion adds to the distress. You're doing everything right, taking care of yourself, yet your body is betraying you in ways that make no sense. The floral bouquet that smells so refined is actually a blend of over 40 undisclosed chemical compounds. Independent fragrance analysis found traces of benzyl benzoate and coumarin, substances restricted in Europe due to allergic sensitization risks. Once again, we see American consumers exposed to compounds that European regulators have deemed too dangerous for routine use. For seniors taking immunosuppressant drugs or managing autoimmune conditions, introducing these allergens can trigger flare-ups and complications. Your rheumatologist works to keep your lupus or rheumatoid arthritis under control, adjusting medications, monitoring inflammation markers. Then a perfume floods your system with compounds that activate the very immune responses those drugs are trying to suppress. The elegant frosted bottle promises timeless beauty, yet delivers chemicals that age your skin faster through chronic inflammation. Inflammation is now recognized as a primary driver of visible aging, breaking down collagen, disrupting skin barrier function, accelerating the appearance of fine lines and age spots. Estee Lauder built trust over generations, selling to mothers and daughters and granddaughters, creating a legacy of loyalty. But that trust is betrayed by formulations prioritizing shelf stability and scent longevity over consumer safety. They care more about how long the perfume lasts in the bottle than what it does to your body over years of use. Most people never learn which ingredients to avoid, but we'll break it down at the end of the video. Want the real truth about what's touching your skin every day? Hit subscribe now so you don't miss the facts that could protect your health. Coming in at number 4, Lancome La Vie Est Belle. Life is beautiful until it isn't. Life is beautiful. The name tugs at the heartstrings with its optimistic French promise. Advertising campaigns feature elegant, mature women living joyfully, embracing every moment, radiating contentment and grace. The perfume Perfume is marketed as a celebration of femininity and freedom, positioned as the scent for women who've earned the right to live boldly and beautifully. The pink-tinted bottle sits on your vanity like a daily reminder to embrace joy, to choose happiness, to celebrate the life you've built. But beneath that romantic exterior lies a formulation riddled with synthetic fragrances linked to respiratory and neurological issues that directly contradict every promise of joyful living. Toxicology reports identify methyl eugenol, a compound classified as a possible carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Let that sink in for a moment. A product you spray directly onto your skin that you breathe in with every application contains a compound associated with cancer development. For seniors already managing health conditions, already navigating the challenges of aging bodies and increasing medical concerns, adding carcinogenic exposure is an unacceptable risk. You've spent decades making health-conscious choices, managing your diet, exercising, taking your medications faithfully. Then you unknowingly apply a possible carcinogen every single morning as part of your beauty routine. The sweet gourmand scent, praised by reviewers for its vanilla and iris notes, actually contains artificial musks that bioaccumulate in fatty tissue. These aren't compounds that pass through your system quickly. Studies show they can remain in the body for years, slowly building up with each application. Think about that accumulation over time. If you apply this perfume 5 days a week for 10 years, you're creating an ever-growing reservoir of synthetic musks in your body's fat stores. Seniors using this perfume daily are unknowingly creating a toxic burden inside their own bodies, a chemical archive of every spray, every application, every time they wanted to smell beautiful. The fragrance molecules don't just sit on your skin's surface. They absorb through the epidermis, enter the bloodstream, and circulate to organs including the liver and kidneys. For seniors with compromised kidney function, this creates an additional detoxification burden their bodies struggle to manage. Your kidneys are already working overtime, filtering waste products, managing fluid balance, processing medications. Now add synthetic musks and carcinogenic compounds to the workload. Consumer complaints reveal frequent headaches, dizziness, and nausea after wearing this perfume, particularly in enclosed spaces like cars or small rooms where the scent concentrates in the air. The brand promises joy and beauty, but delivers chemical exposure that contradicts every health-conscious choice you make. You read labels at the grocery store, avoid processed foods, choose organic when possible, filter your water. Yet that elegant atomizer sprays a mist of molecules your body was never designed to process, compounds that accumulate rather than metabolize, that persist rather than eliminate. That beautiful pink bottle on your dresser isn't celebrating life, it's slowly poisoning it. Why do you think the FDA allows perfume companies to hide ingredients under the label fragrance, while Europe demands full disclosure? Coming in at number 3, Giorgio Armani. See, saying yes to hormone disruption. The advertising is powerful, confident, sophisticated women making bold statements, refusing to apologize for their ambition or their age. The perfume is positioned as empowering and luxurious, the scent for women who've earned their place, who command respect, who say yes to life on their own terms. The sleek black bottle suggests Italian elegance, minimalist sophistication, timeless style. Marketing campaigns feature women who look strong, capable, in control of their destinies. But laboratory analysis tells a story those advertisements carefully avoid, a chemical reality that undermines every empowerment message the brand promotes. This fragrance contains high levels of synthetic musks, including galaxolide and tonalide, compounds that act as endocrine disruptors. Research published in environmental health journals shows these chemicals mimic estrogen in the body, potentially interfering with hormone-sensitive conditions. For senior women managing menopause, hormone therapy, or breast cancer history, introducing additional endocrine disruptors is dangerously counterproductive. Your oncologist carefully monitors your hormone levels if you're a breast cancer survivor, ensuring estrogen-sensitive cells aren't being stimulated. Your doctor has prescribed specific hormone replacement therapy to manage your menopausal symptoms at the lowest effective dose. Then you apply a perfume that floods your system with estrogen-mimicking compounds, throwing all those careful medical calculations into chaos. The sleek black bottle promises Italian elegance, yet contains a chemical blend that can exacerbate hormonal imbalances your doctor is trying to stabilize. Seniors on medications for osteoporosis, thyroid disorders, or cardiovascular health may experience reduced drug effectiveness when these synthetic musks interfere with hormone receptors. Thyroid medication requires precise dosing. Too little, and you're fatigued. Too much, and your heart races. But synthetic musks can bind to the same receptors your thyroid hormone uses, competing for access, reducing the effectiveness of your carefully calibrated medication. You might blame the medication thinking it's stopped working, never suspecting your perfume is the culprit. The perfume's longevity, praised in reviews for lasting all day, actually indicates high concentrations of persistent chemicals that don't break down easily in the environment or your body. That's why the scent lingers for 8, 10, 12 hours. Not because of superior perfumery craftsmanship, but because the chemicals resist degradation. Toxicology studies show these compounds are detected in blood and breast milk samples, proving they penetrate deeply into biological systems. If these chemicals can cross into breast milk, they're circulating throughout your entire body, reaching every organ, every tissue, accumulating in places you never intended them to go. The sweet floral scent masks a formulation designed for maximum staying power, not maximum safety. For seniors with sensitive respiratory systems, the intense projection of this perfume can trigger asthma attacks, especially in poorly ventilated spaces like cars or elevators. One woman described how wearing C during a long car trip left her passenger, her elderly mother, gasping and wheezing, unable to catch her breath. Armani built a reputation on refined luxury, but the chemical reality inside this bottle betrays the trust of mature consumers seeking elegance without harm. You're not empowered when your perfume is disrupting your hormones. You're not saying yes to life when you're saying yes to endocrine disruption. At number 2, we have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the illusion of freshness. The name evokes freshness, Mediterranean breezes, sun-drenched coastlines, and carefree elegance. Marketing shows women in flowing white dresses on Italian beaches, laughing in the sunshine, embodying effortless beauty and joy. The brand targets women seeking a light, everyday fragrance, something fresh and easy rather than heavy and intense. The pale blue bottle suggests water, sky, clarity, innocence. Everything about the presentation whispers gentle and safe and refreshing. But fresh doesn't mean safe. This perfume contains citrus-derived compounds including citral and citronellol, which oxidize rapidly when exposed to air and light, transforming into potent skin irritants. The chemistry is unforgiving. Those bright, zesty citrus notes that smell so clean and energizing begin degrading the moment the bottle is opened. Oxygen triggers chemical changes that convert pleasant fragrance molecules into aggressive allergens. For seniors with age-thinned skin, these oxidized chemicals cause contact dermatitis, eczema flare-ups, and persistent itching that makes you want to scratch until you bleed. The irritation often appears gradually, building over weeks or months of use, making it difficult to identify the source. You might try new moisturizers, change your laundry detergent, switch soaps, never realizing that your light perfume is the problem. Dermatology clinics report increasing cases of fragrance-induced skin conditions, particularly among older women using supposedly light perfumes daily. Doctors see the pattern repeatedly. Women in their 60s and 70s developing sudden onset dermatitis after decades of trouble-free perfume use. The pale blue bottle suggests innocence and simplicity, yet the formulation includes preservatives like BHT, a chemical linked to immune system toxicity and organ damage in animal studies. For seniors managing autoimmune conditions or taking immunosuppressive medications, introducing additional immune stressors is reckless. Your immune system is already under siege, whether from rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, or the medications controlling those conditions. Adding BHT creates another assault your overtaxed immune system must attempt to manage. Independent testing found undisclosed phthalates hiding in the formulation, chemicals known to interfere with reproductive hormones and metabolic function. While reproductive concerns may seem irrelevant to seniors, the metabolic disruption affects insulin sensitivity and glucose regulation, critical concerns for those managing diabetes or prediabetes. Around 38% of U.S. adults have prediabetes, with prevalence increasing dramatically among seniors. If you're one of them, carefully managing your diet, exercising, monitoring your blood sugar, the last thing you need is a perfume introducing chemicals that disrupt glucose metabolism. The light descriptor tricks consumers into believing it's gentle and harmless, but the chemical load rivals heavier, more intense fragrances. You're getting all the toxicity with none of the warnings. Consumer reviews frequently mention headaches, nausea, and allergic reactions, symptoms dismissed by the brand as rare sensitivities. But when dozens, hundreds of consumers report identical symptoms, we're not talking about rare sensitivities. We're talking about a problematic formulation the company refuses to acknowledge. The fresh, citrusy scent that seems so harmless is actually a volatile mixture of chemicals your liver and kidneys must work overtime to eliminate. For seniors with compromised detoxification systems, this daily burden accelerates organ stress and functional decline. Your organs are aging naturally, losing efficiency year by year, forcing them to process synthetic chemicals daily speeds that decline, adding unnecessary burden to systems already struggling to keep up. Don't go yet. The solution comes at the very end, and it could change how you choose fragrances forever. Coming in at number 1, Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb. Chemical warfare in a grenade. The name itself is explosive. Flowerbomb. Marketing presents this as a bold, unforgettable fragrance for confident women who refuse to whisper when they can shout. The grenade-shaped bottle is striking, memorable, impossible to ignore, designed to stand out on any vanity like a piece of art or a conversation starter. Advertisements show powerful women making entrances, turning heads, commanding attention. The message, wear this and you become unforgettable. But what's inside is a chemical explosion your body doesn't need. A formulation so aggressive, it should come with a hazard warning rather than a luxury price tag. Laboratory analysis reveals one of the highest concentrations of synthetic aldehydes and nitromusks in any commercial perfume. These compounds are notorious for causing severe allergic reactions, respiratory distress, and neurological symptoms including dizziness and disorientation. For seniors with pre-existing respiratory conditions, asthma, COPD, or chronic bronchitis, exposure to this perfume can trigger immediate breathing difficulties. Emergency room reports document cases of seniors experiencing acute respiratory distress after encountering this fragrance in confined spaces like airplanes or waiting rooms. One woman described sitting next to a Flowerbomb wearer on a flight, spending 3 hours in escalating respiratory distress, unable to escape, unable to breathe properly, arriving at her destination in full-blown asthma attack. The intense, long-lasting scent praised by reviewers is actually a red flag. It indicates chemical persistence that your body cannot easily metabolize or eliminate. These aren't molecules designed to break down gracefully. They're engineered to resist degradation, to cling, to persist, to project for hours on end. Toxicology studies show that nitromusks accumulate in adipose tissue, creating a long-term chemical burden that increases with repeated use. Every spray adds to the reservoir. Every application deepens the accumulation. For seniors managing weight, cholesterol, or metabolic syndrome, these fat-soluble chemicals become stored toxins that leach slowly into circulation, creating a constant low-level exposure that never fully clears. The perfume's projection, how far the scent travels from your body, is among the strongest in the industry, meaning everyone around you is also exposed to these volatile compounds. Studies indicate that secondhand fragrance exposure can cause headaches, nausea, and breathing problems in bystanders, particularly vulnerable populations like seniors with chemical sensitivities. You're not just poisoning yourself, you're creating a chemical cloud that affects everyone in your vicinity. Public spaces, shared offices, religious services, family gatherings, everywhere you go, you're exposing others to compounds they never consented to breathe. The brand promises empowerment and boldness, but delivers a formulation so chemically aggressive it can trigger allergic sensitization after just a few uses. Once sensitized, your immune system remembers. Future exposures trigger increasingly severe reactions. For seniors on blood pressure medications, the cardiovascular stress induced by respiratory irritation and allergic responses can cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure and heart rate. Your cardiologist works to keep your blood pressure stable, prescribes medications to protect your heart. Then a perfume triggers inflammatory responses that send your cardiovascular system into crisis mode. That glamorous grenade on your dresser is more than a metaphor. It's a chemical assault on your respiratory and immune systems, a daily attack disguised as luxury. Viktor and Rolf designed a product for impact, not safety, and mature consumers pay the price with their health. They wanted something that made a statement, something unforgettable. They succeeded. But the statement is chemical aggression, and the memory is respiratory distress. Ever notice how the most expensive perfumes often contain the same chemicals found in cheaper knockoffs, yet charge 10 times the price? The 2 fragrances that won't betray your health. The first actual safe option is Fleur fragrances. After exposing 7 brands that prioritize profit over safety, we finally arrive at fragrances designed with your health in mind. Fleur represents a dramatic departure from industry norms. This brand is committed to clean formulations, publicly disclosing all ingredients, a practice so rare it feels revolutionary in an industry built on secrecy. Fleur explicitly avoids phthalates, parabens, and synthetic musks, the very compounds we've seen wreaking havoc in brand after brand. Their perfumes are hypoallergenic, tested on sensitive skin, and designed for minimal respiratory irritation. For seniors managing multiple health conditions, Fleur offers something precious: peace of mind. You can wear these fragrances without worrying about hormone disruption, without fearing asthma attacks, without concern that your perfume is interfering with your medications. The scents themselves are sophisticated, complex, crafted with the same attention to artistry as luxury brands, but without the hidden dangers. Fleur proves that beauty and safety aren't mutually exclusive, that you don't have to sacrifice your health for elegance. The formulations place minimal burden on kidneys and liver, crucial for seniors whose detoxification systems are no longer operating at youthful efficiency. You can smell beautiful without the chemical warfare, without the toxic accumulation, without betraying your body's trust. The second recommendation is Henry Rose Fragrances. Henry Rose was founded with a transparency-first approach that should be industry standard but remains radical in practice. This brand lists every single ingredient on the label, something virtually no other perfume brand does. While conventional perfumes hide behind the vague term fragrance, Henry Rose breaks down exactly what you're spraying on your skin. Their formulations are certified clean by independent toxicologists and rigorously tested to ensure they're free from endocrine disruptors and carcinogens. For seniors, this transparency is transformative. You can cross-reference ingredients with your medications, consult with your doctor if concerned, make fully informed decisions about what touches your skin. Henry Rose is safe for seniors managing thyroid medications, hormone therapy, blood pressure drugs, and respiratory conditions. The fragrances won't trigger asthma attacks, won't cause allergic dermatitis, won't accumulate in your tissues over time. The brand proves that beautiful, sophisticated scents can exist without chemical danger. That luxury doesn't require sacrificing consumer safety. You deserve perfumes that enhance your life rather than undermining your health. Fragrances that honor your body rather than assaulting it. Henry Rose delivers exactly that: elegance with integrity, beauty without betrayal. Don't risk your health on dangerous fragrances hiding behind luxury labels. Subscribe now, and I'll show you what to avoid and what's actually safe every single week. If you're watching on TV, tap your remote to subscribe so you never get blindsided again.